Any positive political takes right now? The news cycle is fucking brutal. Need some copium. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like or maybe we're past it. I feel like we're getting to that, like, this is how you... There's some stupid fucking book. I don't remember. It's like called like organizing like your first militia or something. I don't remember what it's called, but it's something like that. I don't know if we're at that point. Not the anarchist cookbook for whoever says that cringe shit.
But I don't think there's anything like, I don't know. It feels far-fetched when the government has fucking drones that anything could actually happen.
Well, I mean, like if there was like a rise up of the states or whatever, it would be, it's not even close. Like the federal government would be fucked. I don't even know right now, I don't know what level of copium I'm on or what the fuck anything is. But like my hope is that like right now, the military would not be with Trump. But I don't know where most of the military are at. Like I said before, obviously I'm selecting for my audience. Anybody that messages me is going to be pro-democracy and all that shit. But I mentioned this on stream a few times. One of the kind of scary things that I've heard from people is that it used to be the case that political conversations at the workplace, if you worked in like at the FBI, the NSA, the any like military branch or whatever, you just didn't really talk politics. But I've heard from people, from multiple people, that that's changed significantly over the past year. And that there seems to be a lot more like unhinged political talk going on
inside the military.
Yeah, or just, like in intelligence and like these places that people are just like talking about kind of like wacky, crazy shit way more. And that's kind of spooky. I think the scarier thing though, I don't know, we're like gaming out like pretty crazy scenarios, but we're in a pretty crazy time, is that it's not going to be the states versus the federal government. It's going to be like a division of the USA, because we've already seen some people like Abbott has shown that he's like, you know, he'll side with Trump and he'll be part of that division of the United States if it happens. It's not going to be all the states versus the federal government. It's going to be a division of the country, you know?
Yeah, what's even weirder now, I think, is like, Kobe brought this up yesterday, we were talking about it, and within our military, everything is like very subsectioned out. So it's no longer like you're fighting Nebraska and Ohio and all of the troops that come from there. Now it's like, well, you're fighting Air Force bases with people from every single fucking state.
Sure.
And it just gets, I guess, weird. Like, if they side with the federal government, well, then, yeah, you don't have, like, your quote-unquote statesmen fighting with you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, who knows, man. 3 more years. How is that possible? What are we doing for 3 years?
Biden feel like he came and goed in a fucking instant.
Yeah, because he wasn't making headlines every single day doing absolutely unhinged, crazy shit.
Yeah.
He was a decent man in an indecent time. Was that a Batman quote? What is that from?
That sounds like Batman.
Isn't urban warfare brutal for the military if they're not just slaughtering, nuking all the people? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like a full-on, like, let's roll out all the armies and fight everybody and all that bullshit. It's going to come down to, like, a coordinated effort on the people to resist in, like, a coherent manner. And if nobody really knows what's going on, and nobody really believes it. Like, I still feel like the whole world is locked right now in this cycle of waiting for America to wake up. I still feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Europe is finally changing course or something, but I still get that impression that everybody's just kind of like, I think America's about to be done with this crazy shit.
I think the idea of like, let's say we get to a Newsom presidency, that everything's just going to go back to normal is pretty fantastical.
I mean,
be like another Trump.
It can, but only if that huge accountability stuff happens. There has to be like, I like that one email actually. I think that X should be destroyed. There should be like government bulldozers that roll down the X data centers and physically destroy that platform as like a sign of what happens when you fuck with American democracy.
Just because there's like no moderation, they're not taking any issue in the bots, or I didn't see this email.
Because it sends a message like there's like real shit is gonna happen. Like it's not all a fucking game. Like, X is like a game. Like, it's a destroyed social media platform. Like, the idea that the wealthiest man in the world, who is partisanly supporting the president, and then got an office in the government, like, there's so much about that. There are so many things individually that have happened with this administration that are the most corrupt thing in the history of all of U.S. politics, like, on their own. Like, Elon Musk's story and his relationship with U.S. politics on its own would be, like, one of the largest U.S. corruption stories in all of U.S. history, in my mind.
Yeah, I can't even believe that was only a year ago that he was in the presidency and they were doing fucking
Doge and everything.
Teslas on the lawn and Doge.
And the president is advertising his cars. Elon and 5 other billionaires fucking lined up to pay for that stupid fucking inauguration ceremony or whatever. The inauguration ceremony. Yeah, it was just so fucking cringe. Remember the military parade Trump wanted? You mean the one he got, where we were advertising fucking what was it? It wasn't Bitcoin. Was it Polymarket was sponsoring it? It's so cringe, bro.
Coinbase. Yeah.
All of Trump's billionaire friends settling multi-million-dollar lawsuits with him, like X and Meta and all these companies that he sued because he said they violated his First Amendment rights by banning him from their social media platforms. I'm pretty sure every single one of those cases settled with Trump. And that wasn't with like the president of the United States. That was just with Donald Trump personally. And like those settled and they just paid him out like tens of millions of dollars for being the president of the United States. But it's just like, okay. As a Canadian, I get the feeling we are moving on from America. Carney has even explicitly said that. I mean, I'm sure they have, but like I'm pretty sure we're by far your biggest trading partner, no? How do you bring up the block things that show the exports, imports? America makes up half of Canada's trade. You import $377 billion and export $550 billion of goods to the United States, and you import $88 billion and export $29 billion to China. Is it even true that government employees didn't talk about politics? I feel like Peter Strzok shows it wasn't that unusual. Peter Strzok was messaging on his personal cell phone to another personal person. It wasn't like, that wasn't like office politics talk. So anything, I think that furthers my point. It would like you just in the office and on the job, you just generally didn't speak about politics that much. I imagine that might change a bit when you're talking about investigating a particular person that's running for office or whatever. Like that might come up a bit more. But I could be wrong. Maybe just all the people that have messaged me or talked to me about this, maybe they all are just coming from certain apolitical offices, and maybe it wasn't as standard as I was led to believe as possible.
Saying we could threaten a shutdown over some major changes to ICE and how they are trained,
True.
starting with training, like double the training, but also, you know, some of their
and for
actions,
Kristi Noem to be gone.
Democrats
There's some
can't
momentum
fund
there.
this government. Democrats can't vote to fund this government without getting something in return. I don't
I
understand.
agree.
Like, this should be
I
so
agree.
clear. I'm
Wow.
glad you. Oh,
Never-
what, Hutch?
Wow.
It's a must
Again.
pass moment. Get something every time. We should be getting something every time.
Hell yeah.
Again,
What did we get last time?
You can't force compliance out of this Republican Party. You just can't force them to do things. If they decide to dig their heels in again and say, we're not going to
Then it shuts down.
Then shut down fucking everything and fuck it. Because what the fuck is the difference at this point? We're already leading the country from the White House. It is not even the whole executive branch. It is just the White House that is dictating all of our fucking policy right now. What the fuck changes if the government shuts down formally? Fuck it, shut it down and let's accelerate. Well, I'm on the acceleration train now because we're on the tracks. All right, let's fucking drive it off. Fuck it, why not?
The bitch down.
Yeah.
No, then you exploit the shutdown for as much political
Hutch.
value as you can extract and then end the shutdown. Because you guys cannot seriously be justifying like several months of not sending
it.
SNAP payments for a Republican Party that's not gonna
can't.
do
As opposed to right now where we're on the precipice of just not sending SNAP payments to blue states. What? Hey, are you awake?
Too awake.
There's the IRS facilitates our tax collection, right? There's no way to get around that. Like, I don't think a state can do anything to circumvent the IRS collecting taxes off your paychecks.
I'm not sure.
Earlier, I was watching
Isn't Trump
Hutch
gonna
and
abolish it?
abolish what? The states?
The IRS.
Well, no, you fucking let they love the federal government right now. They love the federal government right now. Earlier, I was watching Hutch and he speculated that you'd agree with Emma from the Majority Report that local police should be violently clashing with federal agents. What are your thoughts? Bayzed. That's all I'll say about that.
I
Snaps off the table. Snaps off the table through
Nothing
September,
ever
so we
happens.
don't have to worry about that. But Hutch, you wouldn't support shutting down the government over major reform to ICE? You don't think the public would be behind us on that?
Well, hang on. What you just told me changes the calculus. What did you just say? The SNAP payments are what now?
SNAP payments are off the table through the end of the fiscal year. That was part of the deal the Democrats made to
If
fund the
that's
government.
if that's the situation, then I would be way more amenable to a prolonged shutdown. But I'm not. I'm not. Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that there might be some momentum here to force some changes from ICE and how Trump is using them with this shutdown.
I want to push Hutch a little bit in our ritualistic conversation.
Uh-oh.
All right, Hutch. Why the fuck does it change anything? Trump was already illegally withholding SNAP funding.
True.
So if it changed your calculation and then Trump started illegally withholding SNAP funding in month 2, and you'd be like, but it's funded till September. Wouldn't you just?
The courts forced his compliance there. The courts checked him on that, on withholding SNAP payments.
That wasn't enough for you to be assuaged at the time that the shutdown was lifted by Democrats. There was still some runway.
No, we've already had this conversation though. I said that I think that they could have gone like a little bit longer, is what I said. But like I literally like 1 or 2 more weeks. But there does get to a point of diminishing returns. Like if you do have a prolonged shutdown that lasts for like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, then you do risk the political benefit of the shutdown fight that we had in the first place. Obviously, that benefited Democrats substantially. Like we've seen the polling, they overwhelmingly blame Republicans correctly and Trump for the expiring tax credits. But if you keep a shutdown going for like 4 months, especially given that it was also going into holiday season, you do run the risk of like people just at some point saying, okay, this just needs to end. And then you lose all the political benefit that you got in the first place. And so I think...
Wait, who does? Trump or the Democrats?
No, the Democrats.
Yeah, but what is feeding that intuition? I mean, we saw the Republicans being blamed. I don't understand what feeds the intuition that Democrats be blamed as opposed to Republicans. That's what I never understood.
Can you not understand what I'm saying? Like if it's a 4-month shutdown, a 5-month shutdown, then you're talking about...
Why does that change who will be blamed for it? That's what I don't want to know.
Because people will feel directly the impact of that shutdown over time. Like you and me, maybe we didn't feel the impact of the shutdown right away.
Why would that change who people would blame?
Because people at a certain point don't want to do those sacrifices.
I know, but why would that change? Why would that change whether they blame Republicans more than Democrats?
Are you playing dumb right now? What are you doing?
No, I'm not.
On this, why would they shift?
Why would they switch their target of who they blame?
Not very nice.
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. At a certain point, if people experience the chaos, especially going into holiday season with air travel, people are, all over the country, stuck in airports for like...
Yes, they'll blame Trump more.
Literally.
Yes, they'll blame Trump more.
No.
You'll be more mad at Trump.
You don't understand the risk of that person in that moment saying, I don't care who ends this shutdown, but someone needs to end it. And at that point, you have lost some of that political value because people don't
in
care
virtue
at
of
that
what?
point.
In virtue of wait, but like they were blaming Republicans. So what? Why would they change?
We're circling.
Why do they always argue over differing institutions? I think Hutch is a little bit too optics pilled sometimes. I think Hutch is he's like my community. Whenever I say something and you guys are like, oh, the optics, or they used to be, he's just a little bit too much like it always has to be optics and rhetoric, and there can never, ever be a principled position on anything. I'm exaggerating a bit. I know Hutch doesn't necessarily think that, but I think he's a little bit too much on that side sometimes.
The drain
What
here.
do you mean, like a principled position, like not willing to bite the bullet sometimes on shit?
As in, I would say, wait, IRI might come in for a second. I don't want to repeat the same conversation. Hold on.
I love IRI.
That's what you sound like.
You got to do TikTok with the guy, man.
I'm doing it, okay?
Ooh, breaking news?
Well, I mean, I just said that. Someday I'll do it. That's what I'm going to say. Sorry.
That's breaking news. No. That is breaking news right there.
Shut up.
We'll talk about it on the morning show, everybody.
What I say, I think that I think it is worth. How strongly do I feel this? I recognize this is a privileged take. I recognize this might accelerate us towards a really bad thing, but I think it is worth it to shut down the government indefinitely until you get some kind of commitment, rule, promise, whatever you need to solidify it as much as possible to ban the president of the United States from selectively withholding federally promised funds. That is just beyond the pale. I think that that's like a bare minimum. I think you could shut it down forever until that happens, I think.
Do you think it was wrong for them to do this over underage drinking laws or whatever? Or upping the law for drinking back in the day?
I would have to see what the process was like for that and everything. Like, were there already federal funds given to highways and all of that, or?
Not sure, yeah. I just know, like, the big meme is, like, apparently chat, like, back in the day when they were upping some of the laws for the states, so everybody could be at 21, there were a few states who were like, fuck that, we're not doing it. And then I think the president was like, oh, well, you're not getting your funds then, fuck you.
We should just go salute separate areas, fuck it. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up, gamers?
Okay, tell me you think this is too radical, okay? So I understand, I listen to you guys debate on Live and Learn sometimes, and I respect the different perspectives. That Hutch is kind of more what is our most politically advantageous play, and then I would say that you and Pisco are more kind of the like that's important, but also we need to have like kind of principled plays as well. Do you think that's like a very broad summary kind of sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty scorched earth on just getting Democrats elected, though, like whatever it takes.
I think, I don't know if you think this is too much. I feel like for this next shutdown, we're not even a year in yet, right? 6 days, right? I feel like it's worth it to do some stuff where, like, I think keeping the government shut down until literally, like, civil war over certain things, like, I know the ICE thing is a thing that is brought up a lot, and I do think that maybe there's a play to be made there, but the idea of selectively pulling funds from some states, I think there should be some demand that somehow I don't know if it would be some Senate rule or some executive order. I don't know how you would do it, but there has to be a way to make that not okay, because that's probably one of the most egregious and disgusting things that the president has done that doesn't even get that much attention. That's just so clearly and obviously and indisputably wrong.
Absolutely. They could include that in the budget, that Trump can't do certain things, that those funds have to be spent or whatever. Now, he could still go against that, and then it's a matter of what do we do now. But there has to be some trust, but they could build that into the budget that he signs, that he has to spend money and he can't take away from certain things.
I guess, or I think it might even just be a verbal promise from the president, because process and procedure means nothing. Because I feel like, isn't the budget already, like, it has to be spent that way? Like, that doesn't have to be added. Isn't that just like how the budget works? It's supposed to be, right?
But the language could be stronger. So, for example, there was some language included in a recent bill that, like, if Pete Hegseth didn't do something, he would lose 25% of his travel budget, and that was enough to threaten him and make him do something. So there could be additional things added like that punish the administration if they don't come through. But I'm with you. Like, we should be fighting on every must-pass bill. We should fight, and we should demand things, and we should insist on them. So this is a great example, like I brought up on the show. Let's increase ICE training.
Yeah, wait, is
it's
that
47
thing
days right now, right?
Is that actually true? Is that I haven't looked? Is it really they're drafting people in and giving them 47 days of training to make them ICE? Is it people coming from other law enforcement backgrounds, or?
Yeah, what I'm reading is it's like 6 weeks of training for new people. I haven't read too much on it, but yeah, there's something like 47, 48 days of training before they start. We could demand that be doubled or something like that, just to say, hey man, this is something we care about. It seems like the public cares a lot about it too.
I also think
here's
oh god.
Well, my thing is, like, overall, the Republicans and Trump are going to get blamed for a shutdown and anything bad that happens. Yes, Democrats will get blamed, but we don't need to win, like, the people over by 10, 20 points. Like, even just them getting blamed 5% more is enough to win elections.
Sure. And we're already on a decent path, I think, right now, right?
Yeah, we're not going to blow that by shutting down the government. The government was shut down for 43 days, I think, and nobody gave a shit at all. I think Trump would have buckled eventually because the economy would have suffered. Like, airports would have slowed down and stuff like that.
Maybe, yeah. The I think demanding Kristi Noem is gone too. I think is reasonable. I can't believe the fact that she came out and just lied. It's so acceptable to just lie about ongoing investigations. She said so much dumb stuff. Did you see her Jake Tapper interview?
Yes.
And she defended all of it. Like,
kept pressing her.
Yeah.
Do you think this is an act of domestic terrorism? Like, I think that's a valid question. And then she still lied about the event. Like, oh,
yeah, they were stuck in a snowbank and all that.
Over.
Yeah, she was ramming them viciously. Like, although the only problem with that is that Trump also mirrored the language into Truth. Probably several Truth posts, so I don't know how that would look. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like we have to start making big demands, and if it goes in a really, really bad direction, at some point I think we just kind of have to accept that, because yeah, I just can't believe it's only been 1 year. It's just crazy. We're like on the verge of considering like an invasion of Greenland. This is like the No New Wars party. We're probably bombing Iran within the next week. We've already deposed Venezuela's leader. Denmark is sending troops to Greenland. Like,
yeah, we got to draw a line, man. Republicans won't do anything, so we got to. And in the end, your average American knows Trump's the president, so he's in charge of everything. They don't understand how the House works or the Senate. That's why I was making a joke of, like, you think you can go up to any American and say, how many votes do you need in the Senate to pass something? And they're going to go 60 votes, and there's only 53 Republicans, and so you need 7 Democrats. They don't know any of that shit. So they're going to blame Trump and the Republicans for everything, no matter what he says. Oh, it's so
sorry,
easy
hold on.
for
I
us.
just want to clarify.
We're not in control.
Hutch did not oppose another shutdown fight. He supports pushing ICE reforms. He's not opposed to another fight. Sorry. Maybe I hadn't made it deep enough in yet, but it sounded like there was a little bit of opposition there. But
I got the impression Hutch did not want to shut down the government over ICE.
Well, maybe you haven't listened enough to this video that you were part of the podcast. I'm just kidding.
I space out sometimes, man. They just go at each other for a while. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. I did not get the feeling that he was down to fight, but I think like the momentum's there right now to do it, just to pick a fight over anything. And in fact, the people want to see a fight from the left. They don't want to see people capitulate and just do nothing.
Yeah.
Did you see Yellow Shirt Guy?
Who was Yellow Shirt Guy?
I'm asking IRI.
My bad. My bad.
Back in the day.
Yeah, sorry. Wrong stream, Steve. You've heard of him? Okay, the yellow shirt guy. He was on, I don't know, he was on some random fucking stream. I think it was Status Quo or whatever, or like Status Quo News or whatever. And he was just going off at a ICE protest, being like, "It's the time for talking is past. Like, we need to start fucking killing these guys. The next time I come here to this protest, I'm gonna come with a gun." Yeah, he was. I think the people are pretty fed up with it.
Damn. Are you talking about what yellow shirt guy from the gaming marathon?
No,
like 10 years ago?
I'll send you the video. It's just some random guy who's in a yellow shirt. I'll send you the video.
Oh, okay. Because there is an actual yellow shirt guy who's famous for being weird at a gaming convention. Do you know about that, Steven?
This isn't the same. This isn't red shirt guy who did the lore
I think
correction.
it's red shirt guy at the WoW one. Yeah.
Oh, red shirt guy.
Yeah, he played Echo the Dolphin at some fuck, I forgot what it was called. The old school video game marathon they used to do. Yeah. I can't believe you haven't heard of that meme. He was so funny. He like had some awkward moment where he laughed at somebody dying after like trying for hours and hours, and everybody got mad at him. That's great. But I'm with you. Fuck these guys, man. Time to fight. What are we doing? What are we dicking around for, you know? Like, we need to fight every must-pass bill opportunity we have to fight, tooth and nail.
Yeah, I agree.
When's the next budget passing? Is it like sometime soon?
The shutdown opportunity is within like a month, right?
Oh.
Yeah, the end of January is when funding runs out, so...
Yeah, I see Hutch on YouTube chat, but I don't think he's in the Discord server. I can't perms him. Sorry, what were you saying?
Chuck Schumer sounded like he doesn't want to do anything already, that they're making progress on appropriations, so he doesn't care, but we'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. I don't know. It's a tough situation. But like you said, we've got Republicans on the ropes right now, so it's not really necessary to do much right now anyways.
Yeah, maybe.
Keep dying or quitting. I mean, they're losing their majority.
Yeah, the 2025 elections were very bad for the Republicans, and it's only going to get worse because it's all about the economy, and Trump's not doing anything. Like, Venezuela is not going to change anything at all.
Yeah.
And Iran's not going to change anything. We're one Black Hawk helicopter going down away from the public getting pissed at Trump. And
international thing. Yeah, and domestically, that would be so horrible too. Yeah. What do you think is going to be the resolution, or do you think it's just going to fade away? Like, my intuition on this, and I haven't followed any domestic and Minnesota local news closely. Is there a chance that this guy, the ICE guy, like just evades all charges? They don't give anything to the Minnesota Police Department, and just nothing happens to him?
Absolutely. This guy, he's not going to be charged with anything.
And then what does that look like?
You saw the prosecutors quit, right? Like, they quit because the DOJ is investigating her partner and her for being part of a larger network.
Yeah.
And the Civil Rights Division had a bunch of people quit at DOJ as well, because usually they get involved if there's a police shooting, and they're not being involved at all. So they are not investigating this guy at all.
What do you think is
free, bro?
What do you think happens from that?
I mean, he's the poster boy for ICE now. Like, come join ICE, you get to shoot libs. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they give a shit. They're happy this happened. They don't care at all. They're like, awesome, one less annoying person blocking ICE.
What,
you thought that they were going to actually prosecute this guy and try to charge him with something? No way.
No, I'm curious, like, where the I don't see him in any room. Hutch, what room are you saying you're in? I see game room 1, 2, and 3. I don't see anybody named Hutch in any of these rooms. Okay. What I guess I'm just curious. Do you think there's like are you worried at all about like a civil war breaking point? Like, do you think we're anywhere near that, or do you think that's still like a super fantastical out there thing?
No, I think that's fantastical. I don't think Americans are anywhere near pulling guns on each other and fighting over ICE or something like that.
Huh. Okay.
No way.
Do you think that states should be taking a more aggressive position with their state police against ICE operating in their states?
Ooh, I don't know what they could do. They can't go against them. This was all kind of brought up in the lawsuit in California when Gavin Newsom tried to stop the National Guard from assisting ICE. Mm-hmm. And the complaint was that ICE is not notifying the local police and coordinating with them so that they can help keep the public safe and help like shut down areas and stuff like that. And so I guess the local police and state police can make demands that, hey man, if you guys want to keep working here, you're going to have to do it our way. Otherwise, you're on your own. And, you know, ICE can't really like protect themselves. They need the local police to assist them when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah,
it
because
seems like they're kind of trying to do that right now in Minneapolis. The local police doesn't seem to be showing up to anything.
well, yeah, but it's because it seems like they're
No,
not
they're
coordinating or
there.
working with them at all. Yeah.
Right. The stuff we see is like them starting shit without telling the local authorities. And so then they get in trouble and run away. But you do see the police show up and then they like try to escort them and stuff. But it's only a matter of time till something really bad happens and the police, you know, if they don't coordinate it with the local police. So I guess they could put pressure on them there and be like, we're not going to help you until you start really coordinating with us.
One thing that I hope people kind of differentiate more, and I know it's obviously online when people are super radical and all this shit, and in different communities where people just view everything as being the same. I think people need to spend a lot of time differentiating between the like the local police and the state police and like federal police, because sometimes I feel like people are too eager to throw kind of all of them in together, and I think it's really bad, especially in situations like this.
Yeah, I mean, the local police are kind of in a tough spot because on one hand, ICE is going after some bad hombres, and I get flack because I defend some of their actions, but I'm sorry, I want ICE to come into my community and get rid of child molesters, you know? I think we have to be careful when we're like, fuck ICE, no ICE, abolish ICE. Like, wait a second now. There's some real bad people out there. That's, you know, and ICE was busting them during Biden. But this is out of control what they're doing, just going door to door and trying to get random people that have been here for years and not causing any problems.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the number one like police defender, bootlicker guy when it comes to like, especially some of the crazy progressive lefty rhetoric on that. I think I would be fully on board at this point though with like an abolish ICE and either relegate the responsibilities to another department or create something new. Because at this point, I feel like the reputation is unsalvageable.
Tanked.
It's just
GG.
crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
You guys are shooting people in the fucking eye with non-lethals and murder. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
murdering.
kind of like that's. Damn, and I actually didn't see the end of that video when the woman was driving off and the guy was like, fucking bitch. And I was like, holy shit, bro.
You didn't hear that?
No, yeah, you just murdered this woman, dude. Jesus. Okay, what was Hutch?
Yeah.
What was your shut down the government position on? How do you feel about the upcoming fight?
Yeah, so I am fully on board with another shutdown. I have a staffer in my chat that works for one of the reps in the House, and he has a different perspective. I haven't spoken with him yet, so there might be some other angles that I haven't thought of yet. But for the same reason that I think the first shutdown was good politically, I think we should do it again. I think there's a lot more momentum now in terms of like the anti-ICE stuff. I don't know if you guys saw, but like support for abolishing ICE went up like 17 points very quickly.
Yeah.
Since the shooting, and the healthcare stuff is really relevant right now because people are actually paying these bills for their higher premiums. And so my whole thing was like, I don't think that we should have an indefinite shutdown. That's fucking insane to me.
Strategically, don't you kind of have to? Like if they know that the pain is going to end at some point, where you're like, and they just have to hold out for some period of time, doesn't that incentivize them to just never acquiesce?
I don't understand the art. Like, I'm not really sure what are we getting for like a 3-month shutdown? How is that a win for Democrats?
IRI has a position. I think that it's politically feasible. In my mind, I feel like there's some stuff that's worth like principally defending. I feel like the ICE stuff is some of it. One of my big things that I think we should be fighting over more is the selective funding to states. I feel like it's crazy that they're now just openly, like they've been withholding FEMA funds from some states. They've been, announcing they're going to cut some types of welfare funding from blue states. I think that's beyond the pale, but.
So that feels like you're operating. Oh, go ahead, Guy.
Well, I think Hutch, you were saying like a year-long shutdown on the podcast, and I just think that's unrealistic. I think that even a 3-month shutdown is unrealistic too. Like 40 days happened because Trump was able to like keep the military funded by moving some money around, and he had the SNAP benefits on the table that are gone now. That's funded through the end of this fiscal year. But I think the economy would start to slow down as people stop showing up from TSA and the air traffic controllers. And once the airports slow down, which I think would have happened in another week or two, then I think that he bends the knee because he can't stand to see the economy hurt.
So like maybe, but like the first shutdown, like I was saying on the podcast, they gave no indication whatsoever that they were even close to budging. And I understand why those Democratic senators did what they did. because we were about to head into you mentioned like the interruption to commerce and travel and how that would fuck up the economy. The public-private partnerships that exist right now are expansive and exist all over the country. This would be massively disruptive to the economy. I mean, like there would be sustained job losses. There would be shrinkage in GDP. People would feel the impact of that negative pressure on our economy, on our entire economy. And the idea that America would, like, just their view would be that like, we're glad that the Democrats are picking this fight after like 3 months of a shutdown and, you know, hundreds of thousands of jobs lost. I think it's just fully delusional. Like, if you're right and there's an avenue and there's some kind of a lane to get them to budge, then sure, yeah, like keep the pressure going if you actually think it's going to result in concessions. But if we come to the determination like 5 weeks into this next shutdown or 4 weeks, and they're not giving any indication that they're going to budge, and the shutdown, and we win politically anyways, like, we benefit from that.
What's the win there if you're just like giving up at the first, like, they're not budging at all?
Look at the numbers of the last shutdown. Like, how many people even knew about these tax credits expiring before Democrats picked that fight? Like, I learned about that because of that shutdown fight. I know millions of other people did too. And by the end of that shutdown fight, we had like a 20-point advantage in terms of who the public blamed for those tax credits expiring. That's a political win. I mean, I think that shutdown helped us in those elections in November. I think that juiced our margins. And so yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think the wins were that we became the party of affordability. That, like, people act like that was just a natural thing before, but yeah, Democrats forcing the fight over the expiring enhanced ACA subsidies pushed it to the forefront. Nobody was talking about that at the time, and now we're seen as the party of fighting for affordability with that as the leading issue. Plus, we kicked ass in those Virginia and New Jersey elections in November partially because of the shutdown. So there were definitely huge wins that came from it. A lot of people were like, oh, we didn't get anything from the previous shutdown fight. I think we got a lot. I think we could ask for even more this time.
Do you think normies give a fuck if it only goes like 14 days instead of like the full 40? Or do you think like we can accomplish the same thing with like a lesser shutdown?
Absolutely. It's just a matter of how much pain Trump is willing to suffer before he gives in.
I mean, if you prolong a shutdown, I mean, there's so many other consequences. Like, it would affect like the judiciary. It would affect like state funding programs that go well beyond SNAP. Like, the consequences do start to cascade at a certain point, and then it really spirals out of control. And I don't know. I don't really understand what is the upside of doing that when we already have such a massive advantage on Republicans right now electorally. And I also just have issue with the idea of like, there's this language of like fighting, right? Like, we gotta make a stand and we gotta pick this fight. And it's like, okay, but that sort of assumes good faith negotiations from the Republican side of the aisle. If they are the party in power and we cannot stop them from blocking certain things or pursuing their agenda, as is the case, and they're not willing to negotiate, they will suffer in terms like a political price for that. And we will look the better for it. We will, like, just like you said, Guy, like, we positioned ourselves as the party of affordability and bringing down healthcare costs because of that shutdown fight. And you risk all of that going away if like 3 months later, people are like, I just lost my fucking job. You know, the economy sucks right now. No. I think you're wrong about that, bro. I think
I don't.
I think the suffering gets so great at a certain point that they're just like, this needs to end. Like, somebody needs to end this.
Well, just quickly, I'll say, I think the party in power suffers. And nobody's going to be like, oh, damn, we needed 7 votes in the Senate to pass the bill, and the Democrats refused to do that. I think the Trump administration and the Republicans will be blamed for the most part. Think about your average normie out there. They're just going to be like, dude, my life sucks more than it did before. Who's in power? Trump and Republicans? I'm voting for the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those people, especially the most vulnerable ones, are going to suffer the worst consequences of a prolonged shutdown.
They will. They'll be smashed, and their lives, a lot of people's lives will be ruined for sure.
I'm curious I'm curious real quick on Hutch's take, and then just because IRI had a more heavy take on this. Do you feel like there's any chance, like, are we getting to a point to where like we might see a situation that spurs like massive amounts of like violent unrest? Or do you think that's still pretty fantastical or pretty far off from that?
I mean, I might have called it fantastical like 6 months ago, but I don't know if it's likely, but it's plausible with the way this administration is behaving, for sure.
I feel like we're like one ICE incident away where theoretically if the right crowd is there or the right people are there, like if you were to get a policing event that involved the death of like 4 or 5 plus people, I feel like that could get super catastrophic really fast. And I don't know.
I mean, the Kent State massacre was a major turning point in American politics, and that was like pretty catastrophic for the government, and like a lot changed culturally because of that event.
Mm-hmm.
And if something like that happened now, I don't know, like there's a lot of, so Trump is horrifying, and I think all the stuff that he's doing, I mean, it is really alarming, but I don't know about you guys, but after this weekend, especially after this last week in response to this shooting, I feel so confident that if Trump were to really wild out, I have no doubt in my mind it would provoke the largest protest movement the world has ever seen, like by far. That it would eclipse the anti-war movement in the 60s and the 70s. I think there would be like 10, 20, 30 million people in the streets. Like, I feel pretty encouraged about that. I don't think that the American people are demonstrating that they're going to make this easy for Trump. And he's already like really spiraling in terms of his political influence and popularity. Mm-hmm. Really bad. Like his political capital is completely dried up, and we're not even past his second year in office. And so like they don't expect to pass any more legislation this year. They just, like, Republicans are just coming out and saying, we don't think that we have the votes to really like do much. Mm-hmm. Like all that is gone. And so
I still hear I still hear major like content creators are always, of course, always willing to defend like everything that the administration does. Do you get the impression, for Guy, I guess, because you're talking to a lot more kind of average-ish people on TikTok, do you get the impression that like the low-level or like the frontline Trump voter is as on board with everything as a lot of the larger media, alternative media content creator people are?
Yeah, they're a little. The only thing the only thing they recognize is that Trump is bullshitting on some things. But because the Venezuela raid went so smoothly, because the Iran bombing went so smoothly, they're on board, and they're willing to ignore him not releasing the Epstein files. They're willing to ignore that he hasn't brought down affordability because gas is cheaper. So these are the kind of things I hear, that they make excuses, and they're still on board with that. But he's slowly losing people. You know, the Epstein files is inexplicable. Like, it's been 3 weeks since a single document has been released. What the hell is he doing?
Kind of moved on from that, it seems.
Yeah.
As long as these missions keep going smoothly, I think they're on board. But how long can this go on? You know, it's like I keep saying, it's only a matter of time until Black Hawk goes down or something, and he's got his own Afghanistan withdrawal with 13 soldiers dead.
Sure.
Yeah, but how relevant is Venezuela in comparison to the ICE stuff this week, like broadly across the country?
Not at all.
No, like that's not enough to sustain them. They see it as like a big W, and I think it is a W. Like the vast majority of Venezuelans like what Trump did, and so certainly in Venezuela it's a W. I think like eventually it'll be like 55% of the country approve of him doing what he did. But it's a foreign policy thing that is completely disconnected from 99% of people's lives in America. They're not really thinking about Venezuela. They are talking about and thinking about the ICE stuff, and that's just going horribly for him. And they all know, like all of these conservative pundits and content creators, they can all fucking feel what's happening, which is that Donald Trump is like really spiraling.
Sure.
And he's physically diminishing as he ages. And his own ego, like, I don't know if Trump, like, fully understands just how much he's slipped in terms of his political power and influence. Maybe he's got a part of him that knows, like, the back of his neck gets a little tingly or whatever, but I think that he finds a way to delude himself to avoid confronting that. And so he just continues to do more and more stupid shit, thinking that it's popular, and it's not. And all of these conservative pundits, they can feel like, you guys remember covering Biden, right? Like, that was kind of tough sometimes. He would trip up on his words and maybe slip up the stairs.
The tough thing
or
was like a misspeak, and maybe he slips on the stairs though. Yeah, but this tough thing is like, what did Stephen Miller said today, that ICE has plenary authority or absolute immunity to, I guess, murder U.S. citizens? Jesus Christ! But no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, our tough coverage it doesn't even come close to, like, they have to come up with such insane cope. And now you have Joe Rogan calling ICE the Gestapo. That's kind of, you know, that's pretty significant. You know, he's a tremendously influential guy, and I think he's like a bellwether in some respects. And so they can all feel it. They can all feel that this is not going well for them, and you know. Yeah.
Well, I look at the 2025 elections, and they went so in our favor. I just think that's going to continue. None of this stuff is going to change that calculus, and they're just going to lose elections continuing through the midterms. So I don't see anything changing that. I don't see civil war. I don't see anything. I think it's just people are just, you know, taking it on the chin with the economy, and they're going to vote for Democrats. So I don't know. I don't see like anything having changed, I guess, is my big answer, Stephen, in the end. Like, people are still coming up and they're just repeating the dumb talking points. Like right now, they're just saying gas is cheaper, man. It's great. Love it. Thank you, Trump.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else?
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to come in and say, like, I fully support a shutdown. I think that the Democrats should use this opportunity, but I think that there are diminishing returns with shutdowns. And so I guess I don't like the idea that, like, we cannot force them to do stuff. Like, you say that there's must-pass bills. You say that they're going to fold. I mean, I'm skeptical. I'd hope you're right. That would be great if we got concessions, but I don't know. I don't know if they're ready to fully break with Trump like that just yet. And if they do hold out for like 2 months, then I think we do need to be the adults in the room and like end the shutdown, and then we come out the better for it again politically.
What do we do?
It just helps us even more.
Theoretically, what if we have a year of when are elections? Are they November?
Yeah.
Yes.
For midterms? What if we did get, like, say in a week or two or after this funding thing, Trump says I'm pulling basically all welfare funding that I can from every blue state. Like, is that like just a thing to be endured or tolerated because we have to keep the government running? Or is there some point where it's like, then fucking shut it all down for indefinitely and then try to fight on the optics of that?
I just don't think it works. Like, a judge already blocked him trying to do that. And I think it's not going to fly to just cut off a couple of states funding like that. I mean, there's a lot of conservatives in these blue states that are being just shit on by him cutting off those funds too.
Yeah,
that's going to hurt him.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
That's how I see it. I don't think he's going to pull that off. Yeah, he's trying all sorts of shit. He's trying to lower credit card rates to 10%. That's not going to work.
Yeah, that's
nobody cares.
Yeah.
He's got all sorts of weird ideas, but yeah. All right. Well, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys. Be careful.
GG's.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
These guys aren't ready for the Civil War like we are, Mooten.
No, they don't get it.
They're delusional.
Moot doesn't have a fucking gun, by the way, to be clear.
That's what you
He's
think.
gunless. He doesn't.
He just doesn't talk about the guns that he has. He's
No,
smart.
He doesn't have a gun.
I've seen his guns.
Also, I saw through the Matrix. I know why Trump's doing a lot of shit, why he wants the interest rate so low. If there's fucking crazy inflation, all the loans become fucking essentially worthless. Like, if you've borrowed $1 million and that $1 million is now worth like 100K of today's money, it's like, you know, that's essentially what we're talking about here.
I mean, that's a take, but the reality is that it'll just never, ever, ever pass. There's no world. Credit cards won't exist at 10% interest.
I don't even know how much of a significant... Is there any stats on how many people are basically doing credit card payments, like just paying the interest month to month?
I don't know. Maybe somewhere. How many people float a balance, basically?
I don't think credit cards should be legal because these people are too fucking retarded to own a credit card.
True. Wouldn't limiting the interest rate to 10% just mean that less people qualify for them? Bro, nobody gets 10% interest on a credit card. I'm pretty sure mine are all 20% plus. You can have the most perfect credit in the world. It's an unsecured credit card. You're never going to get 10% interest
Every credit
rate.
card's like 22%. Like, that doesn't go lower than that.
Like, no one... I mean, I don't know. I feel like most people should just use a credit card with the expectation of completely paying it off at the end of every month, but I feel like just no one does that, ever.
No shit. It's just like, it's impossible for people to do that sometimes.
I mean, there are people... I mean, I do that. There are people that do it.
Yeah, I mean, I do that as well, but I feel like that's like...
Yeah, it's definitely not the norm, yeah.
The average person's like making like 50 grand in America, and if their fucking car loses a tire, I mean, they got to put it on a credit card to be able to go to work. So yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
I know
God.
why people.
No,
get a
they're
credit card
buying
debt.
anime with their fucking credit cards and doing retarded shit with it. That's not for the tires.
You can't trick Steve.
Don't
Steve
defend
knows
these.
how people use his credit cards.
Don't
He's
defend
been
these
there.
middle-class cuckolds, okay? Fuck
I
them.
defend the middle class.
Fuck
I'm number
them.
one defender. Pulls out
Steven has
sword.
had to bail out credit card debt. He knows what the shit gets spent on.
Oh, Jesus
True.
Christ.
Yeah, you should have done that for a stream. Going through my parents' credit card bill that I paid off.
I think actually American Express is kind of they used to be that it was a charge card, meaning you had to pay it off at the end of every month. But I think that they've recently started introducing like pay over time shit. So now even that's not the case, which kind of is I I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, everyone just wants that fucking money, man. They want that fucking interest payments because it's fucking lucrative. Being able to get 20%, 30% when borrowing money from anyone else costs like 6.5 right now or 6. It's just a fucking good deal.
1 second, picking up all your scraps.
Good.
Stats on what people pay. Let's take a look-see.
If there was a president who could get credit card rates down to 10% or whatever, I guarantee they win the next election. Shrimple ass.
Do you need this?
I don't like that strategy. That's like the Andrew Yang shit. I fucking hate that shit. Like, it felt like Andrew
No, I
Yang
don't
was
need that
literally
at all.
trying to buy the fucking election. Like, that's what it felt like. He was like, vote for me and I'll give you $1,000 a month. Like, I fucking hated that shit.
Base?
Well, no, it's not base, because then the next guy comes in here with even more insane shit like Trump, and then he starts doing shit like freedom dividends every month, and he doesn't care that the fucking country's going to go to shit.
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
but I mean, like,
hey-
it's not. I mean, Andrew Yang didn't get anywhere with that, so clearly you need more than that to win.
Well, yeah, but
election,
someone
right?
like Trump might be able to use it to push undecided people over the line, which is why it's fucking dangerous.
Doesn't Trump already try to do that?
True.
Yeah, but he lied, though, right? Like, the freedom dividend was already earmarked for BAH, so...
Yeah, God, I need to look if this is true or not, but I think he kind of fucked those people anyways. Because apparently it was supposed to be like a housing
Yeah, it was
stipend, which was
earmarked.
tax-free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know what that ended up being, but yeah.